Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dicelings. All right, so just getting a little clever there. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about the brand new Dicelings product that is coming out from Wizards of the Coast. Very exciting. So the Dicelings are transforming dice. Okay, so they actually drop. I think they drop in late November. And basically they're about $15, and it is a transforming D20 die. Okay, today we're going to talk about the adult red dragon Diceling. So this Diceling is a transforming D20. All right, so I'm extremely excited about this. I've pre-ordered mine. Hope you've pre-ordered yours, and I'm going to explain to you how I'm going to use this in my upcoming games. All right, so I have upcoming games for multiple conventions that are going to be this fall, PhilCon and PAX Unplugged at minimum, and so in my D20 5th edition, this is what I'm planning. So I'm getting ready to use the Dungeons and Dicelings, and this is how I intend to use the adult red dragon Dungeons and Dicelings. All right. So the way that they'll work is in game, player characters are going to have the option, they'll have the possibility of coming across the what I'm going to call the glowing icosahedron. Right now, it will be a leather thong. Right, it'll be a leather strap that you would use for a necklace, and right below the necklace is a bright glowing red icosahedron. So it is a gem that glows, and this is so the gem glows, right? Any character can wear it once they get it. They could come across it from a merchant, a magic shop merchant at a large at Neverwinter or at Waterdeep. Any magic shop they would be able to purchase this, and they will only get it if they if they come in and the shopkeeper will say, "What are you looking for?" and if they say, "Do you have anything special?" or if they ask for anything that isn't a specific weapon, or if they have a good exchange with the magic shop, even if they don't buy anything but they're just civil to the person, he says, "Hey, I got this recent thing. It's a glowing icosahedron, and I can let you check this out." And so he brings it out, right? And they say, "What is it?" And he says, "Well, I know it's an object of power, and I know it brings good blessings to anybody who wears it, right?" And he says, "If you put your ear up close to it, it's almost like you can hear the breath weapon of a dragon." Right? And if they do, it'll be almost like a shell, like they'll be able to hear the breath weapon of a dragon. So if any of the player characters actually are able to obtain the icosahedron, and there's multiple ways that you can allow your characters to gain it, well, they'll then get this magical item as a player character, right? Now, at that point, the moment the magical item is given to the player character, you will set the non-transformed D20 icosahedron onto the table in front of you. Okay? Then what happens is, as soon as the player... a few things about the glowing icosahedron is... so they get it, and basically it is clearly magical. It is attached to a leather strap that just simply goes around their neck, right? So it is worn as a necklace. Okay? However, the way it is attached to the leather strap, it simply floats below the leather strap, and it actually is not attached to it. It's just an inch of magical connection, completely invisible, and it defies logic, right? It will rest right about it will rest 3 inches below their collarbone, no matter who wears it. And here's the kicker: it glows red all the time through your clothes, and it doesn't matter how many layers on. It doesn't matter even if you're wearing, like, if you put on plate mail, there still will be a shining red glow that comes out. So it will give disadvantage on any stealth rolls. Just the cost of it, okay? And it glows magical. So anytime this player has this thing on them, it will glow red anywhere they put it, right? Like, you cannot stop it from glowing red. So people will always know you are carrying a magical item, right? So the other thing is, if they try to disconnect the leather strap or anything like that, 8d6 fireball immediately occurs, right? And the icosahedron is blown away, right? And if it can fall anywhere where they would lose it, then they'll actually lose it, right? Okay, so the person who gets this, right, they'll put this on, and if they choose to wear it, they will discover its powers as they use it, okay? So there's no identify for this. They will only discover this as they do it, okay? So the first thing that happens, as soon as they gain inspiration in any way, you say you gain inspiration, but that inspiration immediately disappears, and instead you gain this as a player, right? And you give them the transforming icosahedron. At that point, they can use the die, okay? And if they roll a 3 or below, they give you the dice back. They lose it, all right? If they roll 4 to 10, it immediately allows that player character access for the rest of the day to one red dragon trait. It could be their bite claw attack. It could be a legendary action. It could be the breath weapon. And it all comes from that player character, okay? And that is if they roll anything from 4 to 10, right? 11, and then 11 through 19, right? They will, if they roll 11 to 19 on any ability check, okay? Or any action check. I'm sorry, I should say any action check, right? They roll 11 to 19, then at that point they gain 2 of the red dragon's abilities for the rest of the day. And if they roll a natural 20, right, they do not crit. It is turned into a regular hit, right? But for the rest of the day, the player character has all the powers of an adult red dragon. They're able to fly, they're able to cast the same spells. They literally use the same stat block for the rest of the day, right? And this is going to be an incredibly powerful magic item, and it will physically place the icosahedron into your session, right? Now, at any point, right, if you feel like this is unbalancing your game, or you're not strong enough of a... Actually, let's put it this way. First of all, imbalance in a Dungeons & Dragons game is just simply a problem that a Dungeon Master needs to manage. They simply balance it by making sure that everybody... that what's needed to happen in the game to make this heavy item squared, they just counterbalance it, right? And there's a million ways to do that. Any skilled Dungeon Master will be able to do that. But if you are struggling as a Dungeon Master and you're not able to manage this magic item, which can happen. There are, some Dungeon Masters who are still maturing, who don't understand counterbalance, who might not have all the skills of a Master Dungeon Master yet, of a tier 1 Dungeon Master yet. I get it, right? Like, not everybody's there already, right? Then what you would do is essentially, at some point, what I would do is put the player characters in a position to decide to sacrifice the magic item to being lost, right? To trade it or to use it in a way which would save a town or, do something really significant, right? So that is exactly how I intend to use the new adult red dragon, Dungeons & Dragons Diceling icosahedron in my Dungeons & Dragons campaign. How do you plan to use it? I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.